What's up, Facebook? I'm going to do this all over again. I just spent almost 2 hours talking into this camera without the video playing. So I'm going to go through this all over again. It was actually a pretty good video if the video was filming. It was actually a better video than I could have ever done. I went deep into it. I'm going to go deep into it again. But anyways, I'm back. I did a video not too long ago of what I miss about the 90s and early 2000s. In this video I talked about like types of shows, types of music, the way people were, and as I was doing this video, before I started doing this video, I seriously typed it in what other people had to say on the subject, and no videos popped up. I searched it up several times and no videos popped up. Recently I searched it up again just to find my old video, and apparently a lot more people are doing it now. I don't know if it's just because they're old videos that for some reason I couldn't find as easy, and now I'm finding them more easy because I already looked it up a few times, so now they're popping up easier. Or if it's just because I inspire people to talk about the subject through my video. I would like to think that's true. I doubt it's true. Most likely it's not true, but I would like to believe it for now, even though it's probably not true. But I like to think I inspire people. It's probably not true. They probably didn't even see my video at all. But yeah, I keep that for now. It makes me feel good about myself, even though it's probably not true. But anyways, back to the video. Really, in the 90s and early 2000s, I really I miss it. I mean, I would love to have been in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s too, because those were good years too. I mean, recently, life ain't as good as it once was. In the 30s, 40s, and 50s, there was great cars. The cars actually got better in the 50s. It started out with like the Fords, the Chevys, the Mercurys, the Cadillacs, like and the classic Model A vehicles. There was the Model A's, which were the cars, and the Model AA's, which were the trucks. Then it got to the Model T's and C's, and no, the newer cars are just crap. But I miss about the cars all the way from 30s to 50s. 50s actually got a little bit better because now it wasn't just the cars, it was the music. The music started getting good. Rock and roll, country, jazz, blues, rockabilly, the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s was when music started getting good. It was awesome. It's still good to this day, but now it's not as good as it once was, but it's still good. Music will never die, ever. Music will always be there and be a great part of everybody's life. Music is literally an extension of life, but it's not as good as it once was, because now they got country that sounds more like pop. It's still good. It's amazing. I love the songs, I love the artists, but it's not like it was, because country sounds more like pop. I love pop, but like if I want to listen to pop, I'll listen to the pop station. I want to listen to country station. But I still love the songs. Either way, I still love the artist. Rap, I'm not too big of a fan of rap. It's really only rappers: Akon, Eminem, Soldier Boy. Okay, before I start talking about that, what music is, what it's always been, what it always will be. Music is emotion, it's harmony. What music is whenever a artist goes up on stage and he puts all of his emotion into his song, rather it be love, anger, hate, fear, joy, humor. Humor can be in music. He put rage be in music. Like, energy is technically an emotion. Like, you feel energized, you feel hyped up. That's really what music is. It's just emotion. When an artist can go up on stage and put all of his emotion into it, and the audience listens to his music and understands it, and now the audience feels the same emotion that the artist does on a deeper level. That is what music is. It's also a story. Music is a storytelling of somebody's life. But a reason why I don't like a lot of rap is because really most of them, they're just putting random words with random beats, with random sounds, and putting it together just to make randomness. The reason why I like Akon is because he sung about, Akon mainly sung about tragedy, about forgiveness. He tried to use his music to make up for the wrongs that he's done in life. Eminem, most of his songs were, so Akon, the emotion he put into it was sorrow, sadness, and regret. Those were the emotions he put into his music. Eminem, and Eminem was more of love. He also had some sorrow, regret. He sung a lot about his daughter, Haiti, I believe her name was Haley. She's now she's 22. She's off at Michigan College right now. But he sang a lot about her, and he put a lot of feeling into his music for her. And it was feeling that, hey, if you have a daughter, or hey, if you want kids one day and that's how you want your life to be with your kids, you connected with it, you understood it. Literally, there's a lot of songs I would cry to just because I understand what they're talking about. And they're not really sad songs. I just cry to them because I understand it, and that's what I want in life, or what I have in life, and what I enjoy so much. And but that's really all music is. So I like pop, I like country, I like gospel, I like rockabilly, I like classic rock, heavy metal, classical. I love me some Bach, man. There's that one song, I believe it's called Moonlight Sonata or something like that. It's that one really long and really fast song. I would always whistle to it. It's on Beethoven's first. No, was it his first or fifth? It's one to two. But I think it's called Moonlight Sonata. I'm not sure though. I would always whistle that song. No, that's not it. That's the Christmas orchestra song. No, that's not it. I can't remember how it goes. It's been a while since I listened to it. It's been like almost a year now since I actually sit down and whistle to it. But I love classical either way. I love jazz. I love blues. I love bluegrass. I love southern rock. I love indie rock. I love hillbilly, which obviously I love hillbilly because I like rock and roll and I like rockabilly. Basically, what rockabilly is a mixture between hillbilly and rock and roll. So I love all types of music, but 50s was when music was at its best. It was the core of music. Rock and roll was off the charts. It had Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Benny King, Brian Setzer didn't show up until late 70s, early 80s, and he continued through the early 90s. He was his original band throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s was the Stray Cats. After a little bit towards the 90s, they split and went their separate ways. He got a new band with Big, what's his name? Big. He's one of those jazz artists. Big Kingston. Yeah, that's it. Big Kingston, I believe his name is. He's a hit jazz artist. He formed a band with him and a few other people called Brian Setzer Orchestra. Another artist, a recent artist, I went on tour with Brian Setzer with his new band, Brian Setzer Orchestra, in 2015, which is pretty cool. But Biggies was 80s. Biggies were awesome. I love Biggies. If y'all know who the Biggies are, I'm pretty sure y'all know this one song by them, Staying Alive. You can tell by the way I do my walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. You get loud and you get proud. Staying alive, staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. If y'all know Biggies, y'all know that song. I know y'all know that song. It's their biggest hit. They were 70s. But yeah, but after music, cars were good in 30s, 40s, and 50s. A little bit towards the 60s, but it started going off track then, and they didn't have as good muscle. The more muscle cars started coming in. The Camaros, the Dodges, all that. It's just not as good as it once was. Once the Model Ts and Cs started coming in, Model As were awesome. And Model AAs. The AAs were the trucks back then. Model As were cars, Model AAs were trucks. But then once all these other more squared cars started coming around, it wasn't as good. I do like the Impala, the 1972 Impala was good. And then the 1967 Cadillac. Those were good cars. But other than that, around the 60s and 70s, cars started getting off track. And it started forming into these newer cars you see today. But then So 30s through 50s were cars, but then 50s through 80s were music. Okay, but then so there's 80s through 90s and early 2000s. That's when TV shows started getting good. You started seeing Boy Meets World. You started seeing Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. You start seeing Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Johnny Bravo, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ben 10, original Ben 10, not this crap you see now, Ben 10 Omniverse, and Ben 10 Reboot. Those are crap. Ultimate Ben 10 through Ben 10 Ultimate Alien was good. You start seeing Yu-Gi-Oh! You start seeing the original Pokemon. The newer Yu-Gi-Oh! Is also good, but the newer Pokemons aren't as good as they once were. Now they got Sun and Moon, which is, in my opinion, it has a few good things about it. But the graphics and stuff, it doesn't have a good storyline because really they don't travel in that one anymore. They're really just going to school, going home, seeing new Alola forms, and that's it. It doesn't have a great story anymore. But there was a lot of good shows. Now it's just like American Dad, Cleveland Show, Family. Yeah, those shows are understandable. They're relatable, but they're really not as good as the old shows. I do like them to a point. But then there's a lot I don't like about them. But then there's like that regular show, that Adventure Time. I watched a few episodes like that. I'm just like, what? So TV has gotten bad. Music is still good. Music will never die. Cars have gotten bad. Okay, now to the more relatable stuff. Okay, so in the 90s and early 2000s, people got along. Okay, so anyways, people were not as lazy as they are now. Just putting it bluntly. Used to, if you want to hang out with a friend, all you gotta do, walk over to their house, knock, or ride a bike. Ride a bike over to their house, because you ride a bike over to their house, you knock, and then they answer and go like, I can't hang out right now, or hey, come on in. I just got this new game, or I'm coming out. I'm going to get my bike. We're going for a race. We're going to go climb some trees. We're going to go to the park. Or there was that high chance that they said they had time. But then, of course, sometimes people don't have time. In that case, you hop back on your bike. You go to another friend's house. Because back then, it was not hard to make friends. I literally, when I was younger, I had 80 different friends. Now it's just like, how do I meet people? Nobody's ever out. Nobody's... Okay. But basically, before I get to that, now you have to call or text somebody just to come hang out. Used to, you didn't have... In fact, you couldn't. Cell phones really didn't start coming out until 2008-ish, I believe it was. No, 2007. 2007 was when cell phones started becoming a thing. Before then, all you had was house phones. And if somebody wasn't home, we are not at home right now. Please leave a message at the beep. Beep. Like, you couldn't call people before he came over. Which was a good thing. Because I mean, if they're your friends, knock on the door. If they have time, go right ahead. If they don't, go find other friends. It wasn't that hard to make friends. You literally had friends down every corner, and even if they were all busy, park. Go to the park. The park was the best place to meet new friends. Um, you go down to the park and there's kids playing all the time. There's adults out there, um, just relaxing, sitting on the benches. Even adults swinging, hanging upside down on swings and monkey bars. People were fun. Where'd those times go? Like, seriously. Um, but, and even if you didn't go to the park, like, nowadays, okay, people have gotten lazy. Um, we go fishing, swimming all the time, and there'd be like 20 different people out there. Go to the park, 20, 30 different people. Um, go to the go to any store parking lot, just people hanging outside, just chilling and relaxing. Go to the library. The library was a great place to meet people. It wasn't like it is now. People would go in there all the time just to hang out with their friends and talk and relax. Even if you didn't read books, and people check out books, they check out movies there. But even if you didn't check out books, all you had to do was go inside and relax and talk to people. I mean, of course, libraries can't be loud, but you still talk. You can introduce your people, meet people. Um, but yeah. Now everybody's stuck in their house and they're doing nothing, playing video games, watching Netflix. Um, Stuck in their room. They don't even get out to talk to their family. That's one thing I noticed. I'm currently staying with these people, and they're always in the room. They never come out other than to eat. And they take their food back to their room and eat it. And then bring their food back into the kitchen and then go back in their room. And what? It's really stupid. And occasionally they get out of the house and go to the grocery store or go to school or go to work, and other than that, they're in their rooms. It's crazy. And that's really how every household in America is these days. And I know this because the places I used to go to and meet new people or meet up with already existing friends, nobody goes to. For instance, I actually went fishing for the first time in forever with my mom's boyfriend because I couldn't find anybody else to take me. So I went fishing with them, and it was pretty decent. But normally we used to go out there and there'd be like 5 or 6 people out there fishing, a few people swimming. We'd go swimming there too. And it was just me and him. No one else at all. And I mean, normally when we were younger, we like that because we caught more fish. But we also enjoyed having people there with us. And then you go to a pool. Who's at the pool? There may be like 3 people there, 3 other people there, one other family there. And you go to a park There used to be like 80 different people just at the park. Now it's just like you'd be lucky if you see 2 people there. Like, or 1 person. You'd be lucky if you see 1 other person there. Nobody goes anywhere anymore. The library, you only see about 4 people in there on the computers. It's crazy. Even the movie theaters, man, it's crazy. The movie theaters. I went in the movies couple months ago to see what movie was it? Deadpool 2. We went to go see Deadpool 2 in the movie theaters, and there was really only 2 other people in the movie theaters, and those were some nice chairs there. They actually upgraded their chairs since the last time I've been to movie theaters. They now have the reclining chairs, and it was crazy how very few people were there. So that's another thing I miss about the 90s. People are way less active. People don't go anywhere anymore. It's a lot harder to meet new people in general. Like, I used to have like 8 different friends. Now, who do I got? Who's out there? I mean, I had friends in high school, but after high school, everybody pretty much went their own separate ways, and you can't get in touch with them anymore, really, because I had no way to get in touch with them. I wasn't thinking get their phone numbers or anything, because I didn't even have a phone. I don't have a phone currently. I don't like phones. I don't like Facebook. The only thing I use Facebook for is literally to text somebody, ask to hang out, text somebody, get a ride, which literally takes no more than 2 seconds. I hate sitting there talking for hours because you literally can't think of nothing to say. Like, it's literally just like, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing good. What about you? I'm doing all right as well. What you up to? Nothing really, just doing whatever. What about you? Nothing really, pretty much the same. How's life? It's pretty much just going back and forth saying the same thing over and over and over again. You can't. Facebook and texting and all of that is really just, they call it social media, but it's really anti-social media. Like, you literally forget how to communicate with people. That's why I prefer talking to people face to face. It's easier for me to communicate. It's easier for me to get a conversation going and keep it going. So that's another reason why this world is screwed up today. Okay, so 1, people are a lot more active. 2, a lot harder to meet people. Okay, 3 is less trust. People don't trust people anymore. Used to, you would go out and you could walk up to some person's house, notice the grass is a little tall, and go like, hey, would you be okay if I mowed that or raked that for you? I'm looking to make a few extra dollars. Now it's like, the moment you say, come mow your yard, they're like, get the hell out of here. Go away. I don't want you here. I can do it myself if I wanted to. People don't trust anybody anymore. Like, people have literally become so ignorant that less people could be trusted now. And it's really just crazy how that is. There are literally people out there who would shoot you for coming onto their land and asking that question. And in South Carolina, You go onto private property. If there's a sign saying no trespassing, you will be shot. It's not illegal to shoot that person. You're basically protecting yourself. You're protecting your land. It's not against the law. You won't get sent to jail for it. Like, it's okay to do it because you're protecting. It's self-defense. Protecting your land, protecting yourself. That's all it is. And the fact that nobody can trust people anymore, and it comes to that, is just crazy. So there's 3 reasons right there. Now to get into an example on how the world has really changed over the years. I remember I was 4 years old. We were living in, I believe, Knoxville, Tennessee was where we were living. It's going to get crazy how well I remember stuff. Y'all found out soon. So, anyways, this was before I believe it was before, I think my sister was just a little baby at the time. Either that or she wasn't born yet. But it was me and my younger brother. We basically, people could, the world was a lot different. Parents taught kids how to keep safe. They taught kids not to get in cars with strangers. If somebody starts talking to you that's, like, unknown and, like, there's no adults around, to basically walk off slowly and not talk to them. They taught you basically, if you're going out and there's no adults, be sure to stay in large groups. Don't go off separate. Basically, 4 or 5, maybe more kids in a group together. Not to go off separate. They taught you this stuff. And now they don't. But basically, some friends of ours came over to the house. And they asked if we want to go to the park. We were like, yeah, sure. So, me and my brother, I wasn't the type of sibling. You see those siblings are, like, embarrassed of their younger siblings and they don't want them around. And, like, why does he have to go? I want to hang out with my friends by myself. He's a no. That wasn't how I was with my siblings. It wasn't actually until recently that we started getting like that because some things happened in our life. But basically, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take him to the park with us. We enjoy being around each other, hanging out with each other's friends, and stuff like that. So, me and my brother Jamie, we go off to the park. I ride my bike down there. I'm 4 years old at the time. And I park it beside that building near the park. There's a small little building with a door and a window. I think it was like a maintenance building or something like that. Or a security building. Because, I don't know. But it was some sort of little building. So I parked my bike out there. Didn't have a chain at the time. I'm just learning how to ride a bike. And so I parked my bike out there and we start playing. We get on, I can't remember what it's called, merry-go-round or whatever. The little thing, it's got the little bars and you stand on it and you spin around. We took and we got on 1 or 2 at a time, and then everybody else started spinning it as fast as they could. Our legs go flying up in the air. And with how fast it was going, it was fun. And so we're playing out there for a few hours, and suddenly they have to go home. So they head home, and then so after they head home, me and my brother start heading home too. We get back to the house, and our mom's standing there. She's ready for us. My mom asks us, because I left my bike at the park. It's crazy. She asks, where's my bike at? And I'm like, oh dang, I forgot the park. She's like, oh, okay, you'll just have to wait to get tomorrow because it was getting dark now. The sun was starting to go down. I mean, it wasn't that dark. I literally said, Mom, it's not dark yet. I walked down there real fast and get it real quick. But she's like, no, the sun's starting to go down. So I ended up having to wait till tomorrow. So she's waiting for us, and we go inside. Food's already ready. It was macaroni and cut up hot dogs, and we had to cut up the hot dogs and macaroni. We ate, went upstairs, watched a few movies in our rooms, and watched a few movies, few TV shows, and we went to bed. We at this time, we currently wasn't going to school. I was actually going to start school after that summer, I believe. So we're allowed to stay up till 10 o'clock. So we're out there watching movies, TV shows, and stuff like that, and we go to bed at 10 o'clock. Next morning, I wake up, I brush my teeth, do my hair, get my shoes on, and we eat breakfast. We actually had French toast sticks that morning for breakfast. It is literally crazy how much I remember. I remember the exact meals from when I was 4 years old, living in Tennessee. And I remember every little thing we did, but I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I literally can't, and I'm not going to start thinking about it because it's crazy. It would get me going on. So I'll go down back to the park and check to see if my bike's there. Bike's not there. It had been stolen overnight. So I didn't say growing up was perfect. There was still bad in the world. There will always be bad in the world. The world will never be perfect. But it was better than it is now. The world can always get worse, and it can always get better. Depends on what we want to do with our lives. Anyways, but it'll never be perfect. Anyways, I get there, my bike's gone. Immediately, I'm thinking, I'm not going to let this go. I'm more responsible than that. I know if it gets stolen, I gotta let somebody know immediately. And I can't just go out there and continue playing like I had planned on doing. I'm like, Mom, my bike's gone. I head back to the house and like, Mom, my bike's gone. And she's like, okay, she's like, did you check at the park? I was like, yes, that's where I'm just coming from. She's like, and so anyways, my bike went missing. So that's then. That shows how good and bad the world is. Like the difference between the world then and then now. So the world's not perfect. No, it was perfect. Is the moral of the story, and also another moral is that the world was better than it is now, and it can always get better. So now moving on, a few years from then, I'm 8 years old. We're living in South Carolina at this point. I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We're living in South Carolina at this point. I'm 8 or 9 years old at this point. And my mom's with this dude. One of the few good decisions in men that she's made in her life. His name's Danny Outendar. He was a pretty decent dude. She was with him for about 4 years before they decided to split up. Unknown reasons. But I mean, he was a pretty decent dude. He was basically my role model. I looked up to him. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I didn't do that he did, but when it came down to it, this man was awesome. He he didn't ever physically abuse my mom. Never put his hands on her. Um, he loved us. He loved her. A lot of the men, they either. There was this one dude. He did genuinely love my mom, but he didn't want to have nothing to do with us. There was few dudes. Hey, they're cool with us, but they're just using our mom. Or there's dudes that don't care either way. They're like, I'm only looking for one thing. I'm going to get that one thing, and then I'm going to like hurt you for the rest of your life, make you feel bad about yourself, and I'm going to leave you, and then come back to you and hurt you some more, and then leave you. And so this is one of the few dudes that actually was good for her. My father was a good choice too. Some stuff happened, and he couldn't be around that much. But I don't hold that against him. I don't hold that against her. I used to actually hate my father. I didn't like him. I didn't respect him. I didn't love him. It was just, I didn't care for him that much, because he was never there. But then growing up, I learned, hey, went to go stay with him for a few summers, and seeing the way it was, I talked to him a little bit. I came to more of an understanding what happened, why it had to happen, and he did fight to get us and be able to have us and take care of us and raise us and teach us. He did, but things didn't go so well, and it just couldn't be. And I understand that now. I understand that it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my mom's fault. It was just stuff that happened. And because of now that I'm older and I gotta spend that time with him and talk to him and understand him a little bit better, now I love and respect him a lot more than I would have if he had never left at all. Which he didn't leave. He just basically couldn't come back. Like, he had to stay away for a while. Because some stuff that went down that I'm not getting into. Anyways, now because of that, now I respect him and love him a lot more than what I ever would have if he never would have basically not been there. Because I do understand him a lot more. And we can never have that father-son relationship like most kids have with their father. Those days are gone. I'm grown up now. He's grown. But we have more of a bond than we ever did. And it's better than what it would have been. And it's more like we have a friendship now. We have a trust. We respect each other. We're able to talk to each other. And it's better than what it ever could have been. But Danny, he was a good choice for her. He respected her. He loved her. He loved us. He respected us. He tried to teach us some stuff, teach us right from wrong. We go fishing every single weekend, like every single weekend when he was around. And he'd spend time with just us. Sometimes he'd go out with just our mom. Sometimes he'd go out with us and our mom. we go fishing. Like, literally 90% of our life back then was fishing. Sometimes we'll take a break from fishing, just go swimming, jumping off of a bridge. Um, I remember this one day. I was about 10 years old, and got me and my brother, my sister, and my younger brother out there, and we're at the bridge, and I was immediately able to jump off without hesitation because obviously this man at the current time was literally my role model. If he'd done it, I was going to do it. It was literally how it was. But my brother, Jamie, he was a little bit more scared and he couldn't do it as well. So I had to push him off. The bridge, and he landed. Obviously, we all landed safely. There was water underneath, pretty deep water too. It wasn't too fast of a current, but it was pretty fun. That was actually the place I recently went to this Sunday, the same exact place to go fishing. I didn't catch anything. There was slide nibbles, but not a catch. I'm actually glad there wasn't a catch because when I got home, I'm digging a pond out there. I thought the way I had it, there was going to be no water drainage, but apparently, when I got back, the pond was empty, like completely empty. So I gotta figure out a way to fill in those gaps where the water keeps on draining through. Because I was planning on putting some fish out there, breeding them. Cooking some, eating some, selling some, keeping some as pets, kind of thing. But yeah, we had a pretty good childhood. There was a lot of bad about it, a lot of anger, aggression, a lot of stuff that happened to me in particular as a child. That again, I'm not going to go through it with y'all. I ain't going to tell y'all all the bad stuff about my life just because it's really nobody's business other than mine, the people who caused the bad stuff, or people I may have caused bad stuff to. That's really all it is. But life was good. Life was amazing. I loved life in general. Well, um, which that's another thing about why today's generation really isn't as good as the what we used to grow up to. A lot of people, they go through some bad stuff and they get depressed, and a lot of times they're not really depressed, and the way you know they're not really depressed is you might be upset, you might be sad, and you might have a little bit of depression, but people who are actually genuinely depressed don't tell anybody. If they do tell somebody, it's somebody they're really close to. They might have few people they might tell that they can trust that much to tell them. But even with a few people, they don't tell those people all at once. They get them by themselves and talk to them and get them to help them out. But they're not going to go posting up on Facebook, hey, I want to end my life. I want to do this. I can't take this anymore. Life is getting too hard. I just want to end it all. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. People are genuinely depressed. Don't do that. They don't go off and tell random people that they want to end themselves. That they don't know if they could go through it anymore. They don't do that. That's really all that is. it was attention seeking. And I do feel bad for people who do feel depression because I have been there. I'm currently there right now. I I mean right now I'm not thinking about hurting myself. I'm not thinking about killing myself at this current given point in time, but I have been there too. Um and when I was there, like it things went bad for me. I didn't think clearly. Um and I do understand how people feel when they go through that. And I try to be there for anybody I can who are feeling that way. I can generally tell if somebody's actually depressed without them saying anything at all, and I try to comfort them to the best that I can. Because that's really just the type of person that I am. I'm renting this room out. When I moved in here, the walls were like that. So I don't know. Um, but anyways, um, I mean it's a pretty nice room out there through the holes in the walls. But it's pretty decent size. Got this awesome ginormous poster of the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. The Courage of One Will Challenge the World, November 21st. That has like her standing in front of the flaming symbol. Then it says PG-13 symbol thing. Then hashtag Mockingjay Lives thing. Um, but yeah, this tablet's about to die, so I kind of need to charge it. But um, I can't believe I had to start this whole video over and say pretty much everything I said before. But people are generally just really seeking for attention, and I try to be there for everybody. But people are generally precious. Don't go around telling every single person, and it's really making them go like, the people who they do tell, they feel bad for them, and they hope they don't do it. And if they do it, that these random people that they don't know and they're telling this to over line and stuff like that, or in person, I can tell by experience that when they tell this to them, they're just thinking, please don't tell me that. I don't know you. But if you end up doing it, I'm going to feel responsible. Because there was nothing I could do to stop it now. And it's just, the world has really gotten bad lately with all this different type of stuff. Shootings, killings, like people go out and just randomly kill people. And people go out, steal stuff, people go out, and which that's always been a thing, but now it's just like people have no way to really protect themselves because they don't know how to anymore. Nobody's teaching this stuff anymore. Nobody's teaching their kids. There's this lady I know that she lets her 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and 10-year-old go out at 1 o'clock in the morning by themselves, riding bikes and stuff like that. And then she don't even check up on them or anything, which is crazy. But really, my childhood was amazing. I loved it. I was born in 1996. It is currently 2018. I am now 22 years old. Yay! Starting of August the 18th. It is now August the 30th. So yeah, I lived a long and healthy life. I am proud of myself. I accomplished a lot. But this tablet is about to die and I don't have a charger for it. So, remember, keep it cool, keep it safe, live life the best that you can. That's really all we have to do is live life the best that we can. So, time for me to clock out.